Welcome to
You Matter
in Business.
Your hosts today are Ariel and Miriam, your brand, your story, and your success.
Because you matter in your business. I'm Ariel Faith, your host today. This week on You Matter in Business, I'll be interviewing Miriam Richardson of Enrich Life Coaching. Hi, Miriam. How are you?
Hi, Ariel. I'm really good. And you?
Awesome. I'm doing good. So I have a question for you this morning. What inspired you to be a life coach?
Wow. That's a question, isn't it? So I was inspired to be a life coach because I absolutely love watching other women thrive and overcome their barriers in life and become more successful at what they already do by quietening those negative self-thoughts and overcoming imposter syndrome and all those kind of things. So what inspired me to be a life coach? So I've spent 25 years of my career in leadership in various different industries, but always led teams. And it was always my aim to bring every one of my team players up to the best that they could be. And that's what makes a strong team, is that everybody is working at their optimum level. And so I've been a coach quietly in the background as a leader for 25 years. And then a relocation across the world meant that I left my career. And I just felt that this was the right time for me to change my entire direction and start to be a life coach. And I haven't looked back. I absolutely love it. I love every minute of every day waking up and speaking to ambitious, inspirational women who have got, things that they just need to overcome. So, that's what inspired me to be a life coach.
It's amazing how many things women have to overcome, isn't it? And we're all the same. No matter what our background is, we all have these things. They might be different that we have to overcome.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we're all experts at everything that we do. We're expert mothers, we're expert wives, we're expert coaches to our children, we're expert drivers as taxis, etc., etc. But we have these things that just get in our way, and sometimes it brings us down. Sometimes it, just not being in control of everything. That's one of the things that all of my clients have in common, is that they're not in control, or that they feel that they're out of control and they've lost confidence. So that's my job, is to help inspire them to get back their confidence and put themselves back in control. But I think it's universal across every woman across the world, that we suffer from the same obstacles.
Yeah, 100% agree. You kind of answered this question for me, but tell me if there's anything you want to add to it. So the question that I had was, what experience do you have that gives you credibility as a coach? I know you're credible, but share with the audience.
Thanks, Ariel. So I think my credibility does come from my background. It comes from being a leader of teams across various different industries and different functions in those industries. But also, I've also recently got accreditation as a life and health coach. So that gives me credibility because I've had the training, but it's more my life experience. It's more what I've been through myself, but also that I've led people through in their lives. That gives me that credibility.
Awesome. Yes, it does. What is one of the biggest challenges that you have faced in your own either personal life or career life? And then how did you overcome it?
So I think the biggest challenge for me recently is that I've relocated across the world. So I've moved from the UK, where I've spent all of my life, And I left my family, my friends, my career. And the biggest thing was that I left my 2 boys back in the UK. They're grown. They're at the moment 20 and 23. And they're at university and they live together and they're happy. But just leaving them and moving across the world 4,000 miles to a different culture. And in
a different language.
I was going to say it's a different language. We find that, don't we, Ariel, when we speak to each other and realise that there's so many different things that we call different things. But it's that challenge, even driving on the wrong side of the road and all those kind of things. So that's been a massive challenge for me, starting again at the age of 50 with no friends, no support structure, no career. And your career really defines you. I think that gives you a purpose in life. And so leaving that behind was quite a challenge. So how did I overcome it was the second part of your question. I think through resilience and tenacity and really just knowing that we had to start a new life and that we had to start from scratch, remembering from elementary school days where how you make friends and how you put yourself out there and how you redefine yourself. So yeah, it's been a struggle, but I think it's made both me and my husband much stronger as people. And we're never going to look back on this period in our life and go, what if only? And that was one of the main drivers for us doing this. We didn't want to look back in 10 years' time and say, what happens if we had taken that opportunity or hadn't taken that opportunity is what we'll look back on now. But what happens if we had? So we did it and we haven't looked back really.
Awesome. Tenacity and persistence and all those good qualities are, some things in life we overcome, but we keep overcoming it. Mm-hmm. It's not just a matter of, well, I finished, I'm done. It's more because sometimes things creep up, but and then you have that moment when you miss your babies, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
It's just okay. Okay. What is the biggest issue faced by your clients or their biggest pain point? How do you help them overcome that? Just kind of briefly.
So in my business, I think my mantra is women, confidence and control, because I think all women have to overcome the fact that sometimes they lose their confidence. They may have low self-esteem. Those negative self-thoughts come in, imposter syndrome. So those are things that I help them overcome. But also is that putting people back in control of their lives. So they may feel burnt out. They may feel that they're fatigued by their career or their life or their relationship. It's about allowing them to feel that they're back in control of their own lives. And as you just said, I don't think we necessarily ever overcome these things completely, but it's about having those tools and those strategies in your toolkit that when you recognize that you're self-sabotaging or you recognize that you're not confident in something or that you just want to be back in control. Once you recognize it, it's about knowing how to deal with that in your own life. And it's a lot about emotional intelligence and it's a lot about self-awareness. So it's teaching my clients or talking them through it and allowing them to understand and be able to use those strategies to overcome it. And overcome it again and overcome it again as it crops back up again in their life.
And it does get easier because then you see it and then you know what to do.
That's it. And you recognize the symptoms of it. And then you can use those strategies again and again and again to bury it as far down in your life as you possibly can.
Yeah, it's kind of like the first time you climb a mountain, you don't know where the end is. So you're kind of like climbing and you're like, oh, I'm not going to make it. But when you've climbed it several times, you know the route. So it
Agree.
becomes easier and the fear goes away and you're excited about it. So even the same challenge now brings almost excitement once you
Yeah.
reframe that.
And it's exactly, reframing is a huge thing in coaching, is being able to just see things from a completely different point of view. And you're absolutely right, climbing to the top of the mountain, when that's a really good analogy. When you're walking to the top and you can't see the top and you think it's never ending, but once you've got there and you've stood on the top of that mountain and you've looked out across that amazing view, or the sunset, or whatever it is, that when you get to that peak, that is what drives you the next time to get up and persevere and get over the issue that you're facing.
Absolutely. How have you handled failure and setbacks in your life?
Oh, I love that question. Thanks, Ariel. That's a really good one. So handling failure, do you know what? I don't see things as failure. I see things, failure allows you to learn. If you don't fail, you don't learn. And I think that the more you fail, the more you learn. And so I love failure. I love the fact that you can pick yourself up and look back on it and go, oh, okay, I wouldn't do it the same again next time. And it's that attitude, I think, is how I handle it. It's my learning curve.
Okay, so with that said, what is something that you wish you had known earlier in your life? What is one of those lessons that you learned maybe even multiple times?
Multiple. So I remember the very first time that I heard the term imposter syndrome. And I was well into my 40s by the time that I heard that phrase. And when I heard it, I had a light bulb moment. It was like, wow, that is something that I have struggled with, suffered from my entire life. Now, Ariel, you know me now. I come across, I think, as out on the outside as a very confident person. I'm outgoing. I'm an extrovert. I'm the life and soul of the party. But I suffered from imposter syndrome for all my life. But I never knew that it had a title. I never knew that other people were suffering from it either. And I just wish that when I was in my 20s, when I was just starting out in life, that I had known that imposter syndrome was a thing, that I wasn't alone with it, and that I could actually, that there were strategies to be able to get over it. It's that feeling of complete failure, and that someone is going to find you out as a fraud, that you wake up every day, you go to work and you think, how do they not know that I'm making it up as I go along? And everyone feels exactly the same. And if only,
and sometimes we do make it up as we go along, and that's okay.
That's called fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I wish I'd known about imposter syndrome earlier in my life.
I mean, come on, doctors are allowed to practice, right?
I say that to my brother-in-law, who's a GP, all the time. When are you actually going to get to be perfect?
In another lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
Yeah, it's funny about imposter syndrome, because really it's what's the big emotion that you just described? If you put the emotion in one word, what is that?
Fear.
And learning to deal with fear is something that you help people who struggle with fear, whether it's imposter syndrome, whether it's fear of success, fear of failure, all those other things, right?
Yeah, I mean, fear is massive. Fear is that thing that sits on your shoulder every single day of your life, whether you realize it or not, whether you name it or not. We all suffer from fear, and you're right. It's fear of failure. It's fear of success. It's fear of money. It's fear of all those kind of things. And yeah, what part of my job is people recognizing what their fear is and what it is that they're frightened of, and how to overcome it. And it's really fulfilling.
Yeah, it sounds like it is. So how do you stay motivated and continue to pursue your goals even when you face obstacles?
How do I stay motivated? I think my clients make me stay motivated. Watching them succeed is how you stay motivated. And just that desire to see those changes in other people's lives, that's a massive motivator for me. And continue to pursue my own goals. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to, that's not what motivates me at all. Money's not my motivator. What motivates me is seeing change and sustainable change, not just a quick fixed diet or, just changing things for the sake of changing things, but actually changing things because it makes a difference in your life. And everybody faces obstacles. And we often strangely put those obstacles in our way ourselves with self-sabotage. But it's how do we tear down those obstacles? And that's a great struggle to have every single day. How am I going to climb that mountain? How am I going to get up in the morning and climb that mountain and keep going? It's a great motivator.
Yeah, that is a great motivator. We share that motivation.
Yeah.
Before we go, I have one more question. Last week, we talked about a brand retreat, and we called it, it's called Rediscover, Refine, and Rebrand Retreat. What about that retreat excites you personally?
I'm so excited about the prospect of the retreat. So the thing that excites me most about it is the fact that we're going to be taking some really ambitious businesswomen away and all together so that we can have that bit of collaboration and they can bounce ideas off each other and really gel together and understand that each other has the same issues, has the same obstacles that they have to overcome. And we're going to be talking a lot about rebranding. We're going to be talking about a lot about their businesses, but we're also going to be talking about their own self-development, and we're going to give them some coaching whilst we're away. So we're going to be talking about all of those issues that women face and how we can give them those tools to overcome them. So I'm so excited. Apart from the amazing bit that's going to happen at the end, which is the photographs, which is the culmination of the retreat, where we look at their branding and then go through their personal development, and then they end up with photographs at the end. I'm really excited by all of it. I can't wait to experience it.
Yes, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to. So thank you. And we will see you back next week because you're going to be the host next week.
I'm going to interview you.
You are.
Can't wait.
All right. I hope this episode really helped give the audience a little bit more understanding of who you are and why you do what you do and how you are an expert at what you do. So we will see you again.
See you next episode. After all, it is your brand, your story, and your success. Because Ariel and I know you matter in your business.
Thank you for listening to the You Matter in Business podcast. Please follow, share, like, and comment. We would love to hear from you. This podcast is sponsored by Ariel Faith Photography and Enrich Life Coaching. The show notes provide more information on how to contact Ariel and Miriam and any guest speakers who share in our journey together.